Talofa lava, everyone. My name is Natalie Dayal. I am the Bureau of Ocean Energy Management, or BOEM, Pacific Region Leasing Specialist for the Pacific Outer Continental Shelf, or OCS, minerals leasing process offshore American Samoa. In this presentation, I will provide an overview of BOEM's role, an overview of the OCS minerals lease sale process, and clarify where we are in the process with the current Request for Information and Interest, or RFI. The Bureau of Ocean Energy Management's mission is to manage the development of energy, mineral, and geological resources on nearly 3.2 billion acres of the U.S. Outer Continental Shelf in an environmentally and economically responsible way. BOEM is one of 11 bureaus within the U.S. Department of the Interior and has 3 regional offices. BOEM's Pacific OCS Regional Office, located in Camarillo, California, is responsible for managing energy and mineral resources on all submerged federal lands lying beneath the ocean within the U.S. Exclusive Economic Zone, or EEZ, beyond coastal waters off California, Oregon, Washington, and Hawaii, 3 miles from the coastline to approximately 200 miles offshore, as well as submerged federal lands within the EEZ adjacent to all U.S. territories, which was included in the definition of OCS in the Outer Continental Shelf Lands Act and the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022. Let's take a moment to look at this map of American Samoa along with the other Pacific islands. The U.S. mainland is located at the top right-hand corner. The dark blue shaded areas surrounding each of the states and Pacific territories identifies the Outer Continental Shelf areas. National marine sanctuaries, monuments, and wildlife refuges are the dark shaded areas hatched in red. The lighter yellow outline areas indicate areas of cobalt-rich ferromanganese crusts. The blue outline areas indicate potential areas of polymetallic nodules, and overlapping darker yellow outline areas indicate potential areas of both crusts and nodules. What this map represents are areas where both oceanographic and geologic criteria, including seafloor morphology such as seamounts and ridges or abyssal plains, indicate where crusts and nodules are likely to occur. While this map identifies areas with minerals potential, it does not necessarily indicate whether minerals have been found there. BOEM continues to work closely with the U.S. Geological Survey and other partners to advance the understanding and assessment of critical minerals in the Pacific OCS. USGS continues to support BOEM by providing the latest scientific data on critical mineral resources, as well as potential environmental impacts and hazards associated with seafloor development. OCS minerals refer to mineral resources located on the seabed and in the subsoil of the continental shelf beyond the 3 nautical mile limit of state and territorial jurisdiction. This presentation focuses on non-energy marine minerals, minerals other than oil, gas, and sulfur. These seabed minerals may contain critical minerals. Critical minerals include nickel, cobalt, lithium, manganese, and rare earth elements. These resources are vital to the nation's energy, technology, and defense needs. The USGS maintains a current list of 50 critical minerals that have been identified essential resources that power our economy, strengthen our national defense, and support emerging technologies. This diagram shows seabed minerals where critical minerals may be found. Phosphorites and heavy mineral sands can occur near shore, and polymetallic sulfide deposits can occur in water depths from 100 to 7,000 meters deep. In the Western Pacific OCS, we are primarily discussing the potential for cobalt-rich ferromanganese crusts that form on the sides and summits of seamounts and ridges at depths of 400 to 7,000 meters, and polymetallic nodules or ferromanganese nodules that are potato-shaped nodules that occur on soft sediments of abyssal plains at depths of 3,500 to 6,000 meters. BOEM has the authority to administer a leasing program for minerals other than oil, gas, and sulfur in the OCS where many of these minerals can be found. On April 8, 2025, BOEM received industry interest in OCS minerals offshore American Samoa from a U.S.-based company, Impossible Metals. The company submitted an unsolicited request for a lease sale for an area located near American Samoa. BOEM evaluated the request and, in coordination with the governor of American Samoa, initiated the process for a potential lease sale. For the leasing process in American Samoa, the first step was the RFI, a request for information and interest, which is the step where we currently are, with an open comment period for American Samoa. Once the comment period closes, BOEM will analyze the recommendations, comments, and information we have received from the RFI. Looking at the process flow chart, the next two steps would include the identification of areas to be considered for leasing and a National Environmental Policy Act or NEPA review of the areas identified. The size of areas identified is intended to be sufficiently large enough to include potentially mineable mineral ore bodies. Based on area identification and NEPA review, if the decision is to move forward, the next step would be the issuance of a proposed leasing notice, which would be published in the Federal Register. This notice will include proposed sale procedures, stipulations, payments, and other terms and conditions that might be prescribed in a lease. After considering comments submitted on the proposed leasing notice, the next step would then be to issue a leasing notice that would include a description of the areas and minerals to be offered for lease, the bidding mechanism, auction details, and lease terms and conditions. If all these steps were to happen, a competitive OCS minerals lease sale under the specified terms and conditions of the leasing notice would be held. Throughout the process, there are opportunities for territorial government and community engagement and comments. Generally, the timeline for leasing process is approximately 2 years, and the activities under an executed lease and the additional approvals for subsequent activities are discussed in the next slide. Moving beyond the lease sale, the lessee would only be authorized to conduct preliminary activities, which include performing bathymetric, geological, geophysical, mapping, and other surveys necessary to develop a comprehensive delineation, testing, or mining plan, as well as submit plans to conduct delineation, testing, and mining activities for technical and environmental reviews by BOEM. Lessees are required to submit a mining plan for review prior to conducting mining activities under their lease. The mining plan may include proposed delineation or testing activities. A lessee may also decide to submit a delineation plan and/or testing plan before submitting a mining plan if those activities are needed to obtain additional data and information to develop their mining plan. It is important to note that the lessee must receive approval from BOEM prior to conducting delineation, testing, and mining activities described in their plan or plans. So what are the various plans a lessee could submit to BOEM? Delineation plans describe the activities to locate minerals and quantify minerals. Testing plans describe feasibility studies, pilot programs to evaluate processing techniques and technology, and determine environmental effects. A mining plan describes proposed mineral development, production, and processing activities. The mining plan includes detailed technical and engineering information and would cover all mineral development and production activities. The mining plan would include comprehensive detailed descriptions, illustrations, and explanations of the proposed OCS mineral development, production, and processing activities, and accurately present the lessee's proposed plan of operation. American Samoa is at the very beginning of the process, the publication of a request for information and interest in the Federal Register. This notice was published on June 16th, and we are seeking information on and interest in and around the RFI area. BOEM is particularly interested in obtaining information regarding industry interest, geologic conditions, potential environmental and cultural impacts, and the multiple uses of the area such as navigation and fishing. In Section 6 of the RFI, there is particularly helpful information on the types of information and comments we are seeking. For example, we are seeking information on socioeconomic, biological, and environmental information in and around the RFI area or analogous sites for comparative analysis, potential impacts of leasing and mining activities to these resources, and methods to eliminate, mitigate, or monitor for impacts. Another example that BOEM is seeking is any information regarding commercial, indigenous, and recreational fisheries, including but not limited to the use of the areas, the fishing gear types used, seasonal use, and recommendations for reducing use conflicts. The RFI area is located near the eastern limit of the OCS, bordering the Cook Islands Exclusive Economic Zone, northeast of the Manua Islands and Rose Atoll. And the comment period runs until July 16th at 4:59 p.m. American Samoa Standard Time or 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. Written comments may be submitted electronically using regulations.gov, docket number BOEM-2025-0035, or by mail you can address the envelope to Bureau of Ocean Energy Management, Pacific Region, Office of Strategic Resources, 760 Paseo Camarillo, Suite 102, Camarillo, California, 93010. Additional information on how to submit comments and access the request for information and interest can be found at www.boem.gov/American-Samoa. Commenters should be as specific and detailed as possible to help BOEM understand and address the comments. All information provided to BOEM will be considered in the decision whether to proceed with additional steps leading to the offering of OCS minerals for lease. BOEM will continue to engage with American Samoa as part of our ongoing efforts to strengthen relationships and ensure transparency in our planning process. As part of our engagement, BOEM will discuss the comments we received during the RFI comment period with American Samoa and collaborate on next steps. Our intent is to be transparent, collaborative, and mindful throughout the process. And we welcome your comments on the RFI and input on how we can make our engagement as meaningful as possible. Again, my name is Natalie Dayal. Please feel free to reach out. We appreciate this opportunity to share with you. Pa'awhitai Te Lalava.